Blissel.
Alright, welcome. You are now joining us for the second installment of the two real G's, two real Griots.
Featuring.
Well, we got the triple G.
It's a triple G combo.
It's a triple G week this week. We've got that Gennady Golovkin, whatever the third G is. Triple G, innit?
Who's Golovkin?
What? You're not a boxing guy, are you? Are you a boxing guy?
Is it like some old school boxing?
No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We just
No,
got...
it's fine. You're not boxing guys. It's
Yeah.
fine.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You just dropped it in.
I'm saying
I'm a bit of a
people
boxing
get
guy.
upset if that was a football conversation.
Oh.
Some people get upset. See, there we go.
Yeah.
There we
You can't be
go.
doing that. I only got into boxing, I just think, like, recently through Anthony Joshua, which is embarrassing.
Yeah,
Not really. Not really.
I feel like I should have been on this from time, because now I'm watching bare boxing matches, and I'm like, this is sick. How have I missed out on this? Why did I have to wait this long to get into this?
Yeah, man.
No,
boxing is the shit.
I feel like boxing as well, though. To actually, there's watching boxing and there's actually like enjoying it and knowing the craft and knowing.
Yeah.
It's like when the people that find Mayweather boring.
Yeah.
Them, man.
Them guys, they're annoying, man. They're annoying.
Cause you know what it is, yeah? It takes a lot to keep a man from punching you when you're in the ring.
It's true.
That's not easy.
It's true.
But anyways, this is not about
that was,
boxing.
we got the tangent out of the way. We got the first tangent out of the way.
First of many.
First of many.
The boxing podcast.
Trust me.
Unfortunately. But boom, this is myself, Souls, man like, and it's
Brace,
Brace, man. And today, on my stylish, comfortable couch, we are joined by...
Yeah, man said.
Why'd you... No, just...
Yeah. He said
Listen.
Yeah.
Before we started recording, we were talking about how basically I always used to get onto Souls when we were younger, innit? Like, just unrelenting, just always onto him. Yeah.
I think they will know this already.
Ain't shit changed.
Nothing's changed. But it's because he just sets himself up for it like that.
Yeah,
Like,
because
why would you hook yourself
we were
into
talking
that?
about the couch earlier.
Exactly.
And the couch is not aesthetically pleasing.
It's
Okay.
nice.
But it's a very
But you
comfortable
know what?
couch.
It does its job.
Yeah, big
It
up
does
Andy.
its job.
Do you know why I need new friends?
What?
Because they don't know that.
What do you
And
mean
they-
they
and-
don't
and
know
when
that?
we
They're
don't
looking
know
at the couch. What? A man forgot that they're seeing this. Man, we're trying to help you, man. We're letting you know the couch is comfortable, man. Don't worry about how it looks.
Bro, their eyes ain't as bad as yours, bro. Like,
Yeah. What's going on,
Introduce
man?
yourself, bro.
Yeah, what's going on? I go by the name of General. Yeah.
Boy, Jen.
Jen in the building. Yeah, hey with my proper old school brethren, still my closest G's from day.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful to be here, man. So big
You
up
know-
yourself, my G.
In the start of the last 10, we had a random short lament about Kayo, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, first lyricist.
Did it stay in?
And I was like, huh?
Did it stay
It's
in?
there.
Bro,
I'm not involved in the editing process, so I don't know these things, innit?
No,
Gosh, oh no, just more subliminals, just. Oh Lord.
Hey,
No, but we're talking about another one of our good friends, Kay, and just how like sick a lyricist he is.
Bro.
But obviously, we're in the presence of another sick lyricist today.
I
Yo.
appreciate it, man. Love family. Nah, big up Kizzle though, man. Before me, because like it was like niggas like you got me into this, man, and you obviously as well.
Oh, stop that.
Like, do you know what I mean? One of the most lyrical guys I've known from back in the day. Kizzle the one who's like introduced me to it. Then obviously I got to meet all these other talents, and I'm like, rah, like this is where I need to be to hold my craft. It's like be around people like this. So like, nah, big up yourself, man. I talk about Kizzle in like all my bars. To this day, I have a Kizzle bar, like in every one of my verses, always like refers back to, big up like Kizzle, bro. Because I'm just grateful, man.
Yeah, it's that same here, man. I feel like he was quite for all of us, even the fact that we was up in man's yard.
Bro, yeah. Just in his yard every day, yeah.
Well, you know what?
Every day over summer, that was like second home address. Like,
Bro, I literally was just there, bro, like living there.
Exactly. Well, you know what's interesting about them days and like interesting about that group and what we was doing with music at that time. I say this to people a lot. Like, that's a group of people who've done music together, and they allowed me as a spoken word artist to do like we're on grand tracks. We was doing We was doing spoken word intros and we was doing all of these concepts.
Come on, man. That's
And,
because you have to incorporate all the man them.
No,
Like no one gets left out.
Styles. Different styles of
of course.
It's a lot, but do you think, because obviously we're gonna be talking about some of one of your pieces, one of your works soon. But do you think being in that set, because being in that environment, do you think it is now informed how you write now?
Absolutely.
As opposed to if you was in an environment where it's like, no, we're only talking about this thing.
Oh
like
yeah,
gangsters
no,
and
100%, 100%. Because I remember like when we first like started, it was obviously we're from East London, Essex, so naturally it's just gonna be grime. That's like our foundation. It makes sense. But then when you have people like Brace that's there, who's dropping mad conscious lyricism and that, and you have someone like you who's doing poetry, and then you have Erupt with like the Caribbean slang, and that kind of gave me like the dancehall kind of way to incorporate that into grime. When you're around stuff like that, it's just like, bro. And then that's when we just started being versatile, trying all different rhythms and that.
There was a lot of different sounds, man. A lot of different. Everybody had their like different background.
Yeah.
Because it's funny you mentioned me, because I never considered myself like, how would you say, like a natural like spitter, like a natural rapper.
Bro.
Like it was all like I listened to a lot and like would rap along, and it was always like that American stuff as well. So like really discovering grime like as a sound that was like London as well, and then like local as well, really, because East London's only really down the road. Like discovering that, and then discovering other people who were into that, and realizing, it's not just me. Yeah, other people into it, and then like, well, of course, we are another person we always talk about, and that we always have to give big shouts outs to is Liza Mafia,
obviously, man. Big up Liza.
AKA Mother Hen.
Yeah, that's Mumsy, man.
Trust me.
She's honest. She's helped me so much. Just to find myself at that early stage of my life, man. For real.
The original Welsh wizard.
Nah, you know what? Liza was instrumental, man. Like, just with regards to, I think, also for us as the group, I think that was one of the reasons we did do the things we did. That's true. Actually, is just having that, being exposed to the fact you can do that you can collaborate with different, and you can speak about different things within grime as well. Because we was all part, little context, because we're actually reminiscing.
Yeah, bro,
Little context. So obviously the amazing people at Studio 3 Arts who are actually, I guess, sponsoring us for this at the moment. We started off as participants in big deal projects. It was using dance, drama, and then also music and other artistic outlets and vehicles to talk about certain issues in the area. And I think that I've been exposed to that kind of experience does let you then see how you as artists can branch out and do other things. And
or even discover yourself as an
I was just about to say, that's weird. That just came into my head. I was like, I feel like I discovered myself. I was like, this works, that works. I enjoy doing that. I love spitting at this tempo. I love writing like this. To find yourself and then branch out.
I didn't even spit before I went on that project.
But the reason I was bringing it up and bringing up that collaboration thing is because I think both of you are quite interesting, because like you can't be defined by genre no more. Like you definitely can't be defined by genre, because even outside of your lyricism, you're playing drums, you're doing all this. It's a bit mad where you're everywhere with that. But you as a lyricist, as a musician, like even your previous project, which has like some really deep stuff in it as well, where you and I've we've had conversations as friends where you've obviously said where you didn't want to just do grime. You didn't want that to be like a label put onto you. Do you feel like, I want to word this the right way, but do you feel like that is something are you still going on with that in the sense of you want to not be defined, therefore you want to try everything, or do you want to find a box? Not a box, but you know what I mean? Do you want to find a focal point, especially what you're doing now?
That's the thing. Like, it's like I always used to get angry when people used to call me a grime MC. It's like, oh yeah, Jen, that grime, that MC, that grime. Like, I used to get so vexed. But I'm like, I swear. So even to this day, it's like I don't like being just put in that like one hole. Like, like I'm an artist, I'm a rapper, whatever that is, meaning that whatever genre it is, I rap on that. And because I've got into like a lot of like songwriting as well, where I'm writing for like singers and stuff, that's kind of broadened that out even more. But me as like a rapper, it's like I don't ever want to be like just pigeonholed into like one genre, fam. So, like you said, going back to like my last project, it was like obviously bipolar opposite. That was like grime, trap. There was this, there was that. There was hey, afro, whatever it is. And then obviously I did a few singles, whatever. Stayed on that path of just grime, rap, whatever. Then obviously I went St. Lucia, and then that's just a whole, you know what I mean, completely different genre again. So I'm just whatever mood I'm in. I just want to just be able to do that. If I'm on an island in St. Lucia, I'm not going to be writing grime. I'll write about gal and going out and having a good time and that. So I don't ever want to be defined by just one genre.
I think that's a better way for me to word it. Have you got to focus now? Because you was on the island and your experiences are now changed. So is there a sound that's appealing to you? Like, because there's this flavour to the what I'm hearing on the island. Like even the Birds album. Flavour to it. There's a flavour to it. And even on that, you was the grimiest element.
Exactly.
You could say it was grime.
Exactly. No, it definitely wasn't grime, but that was the grimy. But that's the thing. Is like, I get what you're saying, but it's like I don't ever want to feel like, oh, have you found this thing that works? Because I'm like, yeah, cool, because I'm gonna do that in St. Lucia. But when I come back to London, like I want to be doing some grime thing. Like I want to be. So it's not like necessarily just one. I just love just being a lyricist, and I'll execute that on whatever beat that I am. Like I'm on basically.
I think I think like sort of coming from where you're coming from. I think the way to like interpret what Dad Smallz is trying to say. We'll edit it out. Saying what Smallz is trying to say is like obviously as artists we are like imprinted upon by our environment. So musically, probably where you came to fruition, well not probably, was in that environment we were talking about earlier, where we were doing grime, but also we were doing rap because we were doing We had mad like souls out here exposing us to the spoken word and the lyricism of that. We all listened to American hip hop. We all exactly. We all listened to like what the UK was producing at the time, but as well as in our own development as well. But we were always chasing lyricism. We were always trying to like push the envelope and like talk about concepts and like use grime as a medium to talk about childhood, to talk about relationships, to talk about. We did that thing with I forget what it's called now. Remember when we went to Bristol?
Oh yeah.
I forgot the name of that DVD. Yeah,
you're talking about back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that Bristol trip. Jesus Christ.
And we did the
You're taking me.
That healthy versus unhealthy clash.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Remember? And we all had bars, lyrics about like there was an unhealthy side to like fast food, and then there was the healthy side like water, vegetables. Listen, there was some greasy bars, boy.
Man said greasy bars. You know what? I was thinking about this Bristol thing the other day, and I was thinking, why did we go Bristol? I couldn't remember until you just said that now.
I think it was like was it called the Body Image DVD? I can't remember.
How do you remember all this?
No, I know. Like, do you know what? I think I still remember the bars from that day.
Oh no!
No, you don't.
Fruit of knowledge, you can't pass me, so pass me on top of my class, and I'm passing.
Yes, I remember this.
It's hardly gonna match me. I'm the upper Mac king out scarcely. I come in bundles of 5, 10. My seed multiply, you're as fly as a hen.
Oi, listen. As soon as you know how I said it, I completely forgot it. As soon as he said the first bar, I was just back there. I was like, oh yeah, Brace did some mad thing on that. You couldn't pay me $1 million for me to like tell you what I said though.
That's all mad. But what was the game of it?
Yeah, what we talking about?
Okay, so we're talking. So like basically how we were. Yeah, see how we get lost in a nostalgia. But how we were always chasing like. So we were even using grime to like do basically what was like an information DVD on how to be healthy and how to maintain like a healthy body image about yourself. Like it was madness. We were doing bits back in the day. Who will ever forget Don't Be Silly, Rap Your Willy?
Oh
listen, it's the anthem.
Don't forget to wrap the condom.
Don't be silly, rap your willy. Sexual health is what we're on. Don't be silly, rap your willy. Don't be silly, rap your willy.
We've been like doing content tunes from day.
That was like
forget that.
And that's the environment that like that's the environment that I think you take with you to all, like as an artist, to any different genre that you touch. If you're able to like use that environment that you have, but you're still able to relate to the new stuff, to the new stimuli that's coming in. Able to then bend and adapt your style. It's still you, but it's like, this is like lo-fi gen. This is grime brace. You know what I'm saying? This is 90s hip hop souls. Like there's, it's almost like, I talk about that multiverse theory. There's like, it's the same reality, but different versions of yourself.
Bro, I was on YouTube for like 3 hours the other night, just on
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Bro. Neil is my guy.
Your personal astrophysicist.
Bro, I'm there for hours just sitting there. Like, this is incredible. Exactly what you're saying. It makes sense,
like,
bro.
It's just like, it's like a different face. It's a different face, all part of the same. I don't know what even to call it, but you know
that's the thing. That's why I say it's like I have that common denominator. Wherever I go to, it's like I'm gonna incorporate my like content sounding, you know what I mean, lyricism type thing on whatever it is, even if it's a tune in St. Lucia or a gal tune or a party tune or a deep mental health thing. I just don't want to be like put into like just this one thing where it's like, you're a grime artist, that's it. Like, it's like my influence comes from that, and I will give you that sound on everything I do. But whatever genre it is, I just enjoy it.
And I think that it shows, like I said, in the grime, in the Birds album.
No, I appreciate
the element of it. Like, it's like, and even with Kayo, because obviously he's got the Canadian in him as well.
Yeah,
like,
that's what it is.
Everyone brought an element of who they were. But you can, that you're all island boys as well. You've all got these experiences.
It's weird. It's because on the Birds album, Party and F It Up. It's like party and we F it up, and it's such a Caribbean things. And I come in like party and we effing it up. I got G's outside the car, step in the club. And then it's like instantly you can hear the grime element to it, but I still go back to talking about a gal and when a house party, all this and that. So I guess we have that in our system where it's like. We've got that from an early stage of like, this is your foundation. Go out there and flex. But like I'll always resort back to that. And I love having that.
It's different branches of the same tree, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
That's it, true. It's different branches of the same tree.
But I can't lie. Sorry, bro, I just cut you off there. But I can't lie. One thing, and this is like to bring it back to the man of the hour right now, but we're going to be talking about you a little bit more in a sec. But one thing I would say, and I actually having that reminiscent about the moments, does actually bring this into context. One thing I'll say with you, Jan, is you're very good at making a point with your music.
Thank you, bro.
You know what I mean? So even when it's talking about depression, as you did in that powerful Black Box, but then also what you've done with Black Magic, where you flipped the violence that Black kids have been imprinted on, but you use that as a way of showing that we're going through perseverance. And, you know, like, so it's that is something that obviously you've been doing. And I'm just excited. I mean, I know it's the direction you're heading in now, but is there been a conscious choice behind that? Is there something that you're focusing on now where you want to talk about? Is there something with the next project that's coming up that... What's the new experiences? Give us the
Yeah, exactly as you said, like mental health is always something that's kind of like incorporated into my music one way or another. And I don't know if that's a conscious thing or it's just like it's happening. Because like when you said that, that's when I started to realize. Because like when I was writing Black Magic, I wasn't consciously thinking, I need to address these topics. I was just barring, fam. And it just came up. And then obviously, but the Black Box, I said I consciously wanted to make that decision to talk about mental health. Because like I always felt like over the years when I was going through like my bipolar and depression and stuff, it was like, I always just tried to avoid it in my music. I was like, nah, let's just catch a vibe, talk about the man, them girls, this and that. And I felt like writing like these depressive things always like, because it's almost like I have to relive these moments. Do you know what I mean? So I always try to avoid it. But it's not until I went on Chucky's podcast, Big Up Yourself, Half Girls, that's when I opened up about my depression like publicly for like the first time. And I think that's what kind of gave me the courage to just be like, okay, look, everyone knows now. I don't have to like hide away or be scared of this. I can just embrace this, but use it in an artistic way. So that's when I started kind of more consciously talking about like mental health in my tunes. So yeah, I just think
do you feel like now you've got I would say a formula, but do you feel like now you're better equipped to then put it in the song? So
Oh yeah. Now, because like I said before, like I was just dropping bars. If there's one or two things that relate to that, then great. But now it's just like, you know what I mean? I could actually just go in on this and have so many different ways of approaching it on like Too Paranoid for Paradise, which is the next project that I've got coming out in January with my boy Kayo. Big up yourself. When we were in St. Lucia, we challenged ourselves to make a project in a week. We're just literally on the beach one day and just said like, we've been here like for like 5, 6, 7 months on the island.
Oh,
everyone's
just on a beach one.
Yeah.
Just on a beach.
I allow it.
Oh,
Fam, hard times, man. Yeah. And we just said we've been on the island for so long. How have we not made a joint EP yet?
Yeah.
And then flipping, we just said like, because I didn't been like, now we're working on the Birds album. We were busy, fam. We were working on another compilation album.
Yeah, exactly.
But that concept came about Too Paranoid for Paradise because literally the first time, like when me and Kayo first met, was on the beach. I think the first time we ever met was at a video shoot in St. Lucia. And then me and him was it Rashad and them man were shooting. Like, big up Rashad. We were just running instrumentals and freestyling. Yeah. Then he kept saying, I'm too paranoid for Paradise. And I was like, what? And he was like, I'm too paranoid. I was like, yeah, bro, I don't know what that is, but I like that. Yeah. And then me and him just like kept freestyling around that subject. 8 months down the line, we started doing the EP and it came to life. It was like, we'll name the project Too Paranoid for Paradise. Remember that freestyle we did? And then he just basically did a hook. And then the single on the EP is entitled the same thing, Too Paranoid for Paradise. And once again, it's about that aspect of just mental health. And even if you're in a place like St. Lucia, the most beautiful place in the world, you will still experience these problems because of mental illness. So yeah, like you said, it's like I do have a thing now where it's like I consciously approach these things and I know how to do it in certain ways. I still go on my grime things, I still talk about gals and other tunes, but I know how to kind of make these songs now. Sure.
Amazing.
I remember you. Oh, sorry to just come across you because I remember. You might have even said it today, but I remember you were. I can't remember which tune you were showing me. But you were showing me a tune, and it was like, it's mad how I've literally just like described like, I think you described like a bipolar episode in one of your tunes or something like that. Like,
anxiety relief from my last one. Oh yeah. Oh, bro. Yeah. Honestly,
and I was just like, because at first, listen, this is the thing that's mad.
I'm so happy you said this because no one clocks this tune.
You know, it's been in my head ever since like conversation comes out. I was like, I have to remind him.
Yeah.
Because it was like, at first listen, you're just not catching it.
Yeah.
You're just not catching it.
I deliberately wrote it that way.
It's not dressed up, but it's disguised.
You know what the funniest thing is? I promise you, and you can ask Tank this, when I was in the studio, when I was like actually writing and working on that song, I actually said that before I made the song. I was like, Tank, I'm going to make a tune about like bipolar disorder, but no one's going to clock it. And he was laughing at me. He's like, what were you talking about, fam? Then I bring in the instrumental from TEA, from Tenor. And flipping, he was like like a trap beat. And I was like, bro, I'm going to address this, and no one's going to clock this. And like when I'm going to be doing shows, people are going to be shouting, screaming, catching their vibe, but no one's going to clock it. Only when you sit down and listen to it. And he was like, what? You can't do that. And then that's exactly months later after the tune was released, people started slowly like messaging me one by one, like, bro, I only just clocked this tune. So, the what? Just give me that beat. Ooh, give me that sheet. Ooh, give me that dun. Just give me that beat. Ooh, give me that sheet. That anxiety relief. And that everything in the song is like a double entendre. It's like it's the verses from being the obviously depressive phases where I'm talking about obviously like suicidal thoughts, wanting to kill myself, this and that, to the hook when it's just like, oh, everything's fine. Just give me that beat. Oh, because you're in that phase now. And then the whole give me the sheet thing once again.
A sheet to do what?
Yeah. You know, so roll my hands. So you know what I mean? If there's people out there who do so, you know what I mean? Then you know what I mean? You can that, or you can go to that crowd. You can appeal to like whatever side. Yeah. So when I was writing that song, for the whole thing, it's like I just have to have it could appeal to all different types of, you know what I mean, people.
And see, that for me is the mark. not to you know, blow smoke up your ass, but that's the mark of like a true artist.
No, I appreciate
because
that,
bro. especially when you're talking about like music in a commercial setting or music that's got like, when I use the term pop music, I mean popular music.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Hip hop is a pop.
Yeah.
But it's it's pop music.
Mm.
And like literally as you were describing it, I was thinking to myself, like for me, the only other person who like I think like in all of his like what's regarded as his greatest works, his greatest music, like if you actually deep what he's talking about in some of his songs, you're like, wow, this guy is mad. Stevie Wonder.
Mad.
Man said Stevie
I thought he was about to go like, I don't know, Kendrick or something.
No,
Like, I was like, where are we going with this? Yeah.
No,
that's mad.
No, because,
yeah.
That's
actually mad.
Like in terms of like, because when you think of Stevie Wonder, like, what's the first song that comes to your head?
I can't. It's all happy shit though. It's all like.
Hit me with one.
I can't give you a time right now, man. Like tip of the tongue. I'll be stuck on name for a second.
Okay, what about Happy Birthday?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even.
That wasn't gonna be.
That wasn't gonna be.
That wouldn't come first. Okay, what about I don't even know.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Like, isn't she lovely?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's all like love, happy.
Alright, so
but he has a way of doing that as well, for sure.
Take for example, Happy Birthday. Yeah, Happy Birthday. Everybody knows the chorus. Always blare out the chorus.
Yeah.
That song he wrote for Martin Luther King, as part of the protest movement, pressure movement to make Martin Luther King Day in the States on his birthday.
Oh,
that song is for Martin Luther King. That song is to get people to recognize his day as a national holiday.
There you go. See, man, like that.
Yeah, bro. So he went on they went on a proper a city tour, like a statewide tour, whatever you want to call it, across the US, campaigning basically for them to recognize that day as his day.
And now little Timmy's just on his third birthday.
Yeah, you know.
No, but this is the thing. Somebody one day will be like, oh, I like this song. Let me sit down and listen to it properly.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
bro. You never know who it's gonna touch.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, rah.
Yeah, that's honestly my favorite style of writing. It's I deliberately like to just mess with people's head, and it's just I want to just confuse you as much as I can to make you think one thing, and it's another thing. So Black Magic, like you said, it's I used to get people coming up to when this tune actually came out, people coming up on the train and just be like, bro, I just clocked what this tune's about because I actually just listened to it. That means more to me than any amount of streams, any this and that, just knowing that someone actually listened to it properly. And it's the same thing with Anxiety Relief. It just had that that trap beat to it, but as soon as I heard the hook coming where it's din 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 din, I'm hearing synths. I was like, I haven't heard this in a modern song in how long? And that just took me to a colourful place, and I thought that was the mania for me. Yeah, then it cuts out the synths and it just so it's gone back into a gritty mode. So that the song, I'm not trying to get all spiritual, but it's I felt that with the song, and it's okay, cool, I'm gonna approach this like that based on how it's structured.
Would you say you see images when you listen to
bro? I was trying to explain this to my dad the other day. It's actually mad. Anxiety Relief is the perfect example of that. All other songs as well. But that was an example where when I heard that hook, as soon as I heard the din 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 din, I was seeing the colours and stuff
physically seeing with your eyes open or in your mind.
Yeah, in my mind. No, I'm not on them levels there.
That's hallucinating.
Yeah, that's what you're on.
Jellyfish.
Jen, there's a name for that, bro.
Yeah, no. Let's try it. Nah.
That's the type of anxiety.
I'm trying to tell me I will diagnose you right now.
I was about to young Jamie that shit.
Bro, what's that called? What's that called when you can see, psychosis? Yeah, man's good, yeah. No, it's not even that, but it's just the way I see music, in my head, basically, yeah. So that's what kind of led me to write in that way, because I just instantly felt, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but that's I love that style of writing. When I hear it from other artists as well, or it's just when I properly listen to it, I'm like, oh, this is what you're telling me. It's like a gem. I appreciate that so much, man.
I really appreciate this conversation because it's put light into something else. Where when we was first thinking about this podcast, we were thinking about the art of lyric writing, but also there's an art of structuring as well. So even
That's
using
facts.
anxiety relief as an example, or there's certain songs where it's structured in a way where it is the cleverness is in the structure. It's in the fact of in the verses we're tackling this thing,
depression, and the hook is mania,
or even when they have a big reveal at the end, and that is part of it. That's part of even like you can make the simplest lyric special if you've structured it well enough. So that's obviously something else.
No, it's so true,
when constructing their work.
Yeah, and the funniest thing was, I remember like when I released that song, that was like just before I left Percentage. I think we had like one little show, or whatever it was. Yeah, I remember I performed that song. Yeah, and like I'm literally in my verses saying like I'm a manic depressive, a danger to myself. I can kill you with my hands and then go kill myself. I'm literally rapping this and everyone's just like, yeah. And I'm looking at these men in the eyes like, you don't even know. Man's just bopping like, yeah. Like, you can't put fear inside a man who's not afraid to die. And I'm saying all these things and man are just like, yeah. And I'm like, and I love that though, because in a way, it's going to sound really weird, but it's like, I get to talk about really depressive, dark stuff. But I don't have to make you feel depressed and dark. If that makes sense. And I love that aspect of it. It's like, I know what I'm talking about. You might just catch your vibe. Like, I'm just getting to vent and release. Yeah. As long as you're having a good time. Do you know what I mean?
Instead, it just reminded me of.
Well,
and like, it's not even a song we was going to talk about. But you know what that's reminded me of? That element of it. Swimming pools. Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, come on, man. Kendrick's like, that album is like I think my favorite album of all time. Like, honestly, I've been saying, people get vexed when I say this. Good Kid, Mad City. Is, you see how you talk about structure. I study this guy like the Bible. He's the king of that. He is the greatest of that, man. Oh my days. And now you said that, I just realized.
Because it's like, when we think about swimming pools, he's talking about...
Pool full of liquor, I'm a dive in
He's talking about drowning all of your sorrows in liquor.
Yeah.
And if you follow the story of the whole album, this is when things are getting tense. They're trying to...
Yeah, there's a storyline from start to finish. And it's like, where are we now? Or the girl set him up and now he's trying to drink to get rid... Okay, cool. And his brethren just died, so now he's the... Like, it's just a story. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of my writing comes from that, because I study Kendrick like the Bible, bro. So maybe he has such an influence on me where maybe you've written Anxiety Relief based on a theme like that.
Yeah. Bro, I can't lie, I feel that, because sometimes I feel like, did I just get that from Kanye or Biggie?
Bro, honestly, sometimes I write and I'm just like, is this just like, like a Kendrick?
I have to check it. Cause when you respect someone's artistic value, you know what they do is sometimes it will seep in. But yeah, that's a lovely section here. Before we get into the song, we're gonna have what I've just introduced, which is called the Drilly Interlude.
This is
if you watch the first
hilarious.
one, the what? Drilly Interlude!
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay, cool. The reason for that ground over there is because we've got grown man Uncle Daddy Brace over here.
Yeah. As soon as he became a dad, he was like, I'm not listening to
Yeah.
Before then, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying.
But some of us always want to appreciate some of the diamonds and the gems that we find in it. So I thought, we just make a little section to look at him, stain.
Come on, let's
wow. Anyways, a little section to give shout out to some drill bars that we've heard that maybe we've liked through some time. So boom, just a quick one. I just want to do my quick first shout out to one brother, RJ. Obviously, my man comes to my studio and made this one track here. And the lyric in it, it goes. What?
Because man did the whole setup again. I was like, this is pressure. It's like you're trying to act like that didn't happen.
You are not gonna let me out? Okay.
I didn't commit lyrical genocide.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyway, man said, Black Lives Matter. But I'll still go there, stab man in the back, because most of the ops are black.
That's mad.
No,
That's mad.
Bar.
That's actually mad.
Like, it's a bar because it touches on violence, but then it just touches on the environment. It touches on the conditions and so many. Boom. And
it's a clever but most of the ops are blood. It's not my fault. Do you know what I mean? I love them type of lyrics, like them, like, I don't know what to call it tongue in cheek. Nah, it's not tongue in cheek. That's just raw.
I mean, you can't. It almost is. It is in the most, in the darkest way.
Yeah, I think that's why this is so bad, but that's why I love lyrics like that, because I have such a dark sense of humor, especially in comedy and everything I watch, music. It's always to the darkest element I go. So when I hear something like that, I'm like, I know that's mad, yeah, but I love that bar because it's just like, it's taking you to that place like you should feel uncomfortable about this.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
100%.
About the whole thing, yeah.
100%.
That's mad.
Yeah, shout out RJ, man. You got people thinking, yeah.
For sure.
That's cool.
What, Joe, did you have a bar for a really interview?
Yeah, fam. There's one bar that for some reason, every time I'm walking around my house, yeah, I'm always saying it at some point. Like every day, I always end up saying it. And it's Digger D, yeah, in no diet, yeah. And once again, I just realized this as I'm saying this, going back to our previous conversation. I think it's because it sticks to the theme of it's called No Diet, and he's talking about coke, like, you know what I mean? So I must have really liked this because I realized, oh, there's a double meaning there. I just clocked that. And it was when he said, bro don't box like Joshua, Shangame proper, do man proper. Throw me a box and I got you, a man take risks for the pounds and prosper. They had me in the can like Foster, with the Starbucks for the cream, no Costa. Fam, like, listen, you know what's mad? Because he gave you the whole thing before and he's like, bro don't box like Joshua, Shangame proper, do man proper. So he's giving you the words, the rhyme schemes like bouncing on every other line and he's still telling a story with it. And then he's like, they had me in the can like Foster, with the Starbucks for the cream, no Costa. So he's giving you Foster, can, Starbucks, cream, Costa. Let the Starbucks for the cream, no Costa. But it's the whole setup before it, like before he got to like the punchline. He was just giving you the whole like bop, like, no. He's like leading you down somewhere. I'm like, where's he going with it? And he ends on that and it's like, yeah. That's what I mean. Them man got bars, you know. The drill man got bars.
Well, like, because what we were saying just before we come in here, I guess we get to repeat it again. But it's like, to me, it's like, you're old.
Wow.
Alright, we're all getting old. I mean, we're saying it like we're old. We're not actually old.
That's like you're old.
Yeah, I'm not bringing it to me, you know. It's talking about you.
Listen,
and I'm not saying anything.
Listen, in 2 years' time, when everybody in this circle is above 30, yeah, we'll talk, innit?
Oh,
the whole situation
exposure!
Man. I've been told I'm looking younger these days.
Listen, you see this clean shave here? I'm 22, bro. Like, I'm actually 22, bro. What, 2 years? Bro?
Yeah, God.
No one's going to believe me because I just got this fresh car.
Anyway, as I was saying, look, lyrics, like, for me, like, a lot of the UK scene was happened probably since, I would say since gigs. Because it kind of, for me there was like a really clear divide. It's kind of when UK rap got its own thing.
Yeah.
And UK rap went down this kind of path where like it was really slow and deliberate. Talking the artist.
Pop up in your thoughts.
Like very, very deliberate, not necessarily like overly technical flows. Yeah, but like real lyrics. Like, I think that's one thing about it. Like that UK rap from that era, like all of the lyrics were real. They were all cold lyrics.
Yeah.
But the flows weren't necessarily inspiring, at least not to my ear anyway.
Yeah.
But like as that trend happened and it got slower and slower, eventually like it kind of crossed over where it was slow enough that you could double time it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then you get and then you come like to what we've got now, like sort of like trap and drill.
Yeah. That's actually true.
But then it's like, because of that UK flavour, like, for me, the quintessential like UK urban music, grime.
Yeah. I just realised, I was thinking, like, he's going to end up bringing this back to grime.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
That's the thing, we can't avoid it, fam. Man, try to talk shit about grime. That is the foundation for everything. Don't try it.
100%. Because at the end of the day, it's the one thing that is like is UK to a T. Nobody can chat.
It's true.
Nobody can't send for it at all.
One sec. You're gonna have some John Gordon Garage Brothers comment after
you. I don't care, fam. I don't care, fam.
Like, what do you mean? You would been here.
No. That's the thing.
No, because obviously my genre of music grime comes from garage.
But when I talk about drill and all them things, it's like, yeah, like this comes back to us, man.
Like in terms of like, I mean, okay, let's not discount these, man. Let's not discount these, man. But in terms of like, a music that really like captured the, as far as them man will say it. Okay, I'm can't say it. That really captured like the black youth.
Yeah. That's why.
I'll say it
it's
because, and don't get me wrong, because there are enough like like black brothers out there who love jungle, sisters who love jungle, love that stuff.
Yeah,
like, and obviously there were a lot of people who were making it. Because inevitably there would be, but like it's not. I don't think it had the same kind of bro. I'm passionate about this stuff. I don't think it had the same sort of influence. It hasn't had the same long-lasting influence. Where you see man like Skepta is like doing adverts with Bacardi. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, or his music is synced to like a Vauxhall Corsa advert.
Bro. Every time I see something,
you know what I'm saying? It's mad. It's like you actually can like rah. Like Grime's actually come far.
Yeah, and when you hear them, man, like on different, because like I just listened to a Skepta and a Kid Cudi tune on the way here, and I was just like, what? And you think to yourself, like, them man are like, that's how important grime is to me, because them man can go over there and just still be on a track, and you can hear the greasiness, and that like it always. That's what I was talking about earlier. It always boils down to that. You hear me on a song in St. Lucia by Party and everything else, but you hear the grime element. It has such a distinctive sound to it, like. You can't avoid it, man. So all them drill and all them things, it comes from.
It comes I mean, for me, it's the birth of it. So it's like it's when you trace like the lineage of it, like it's not really a surprise that like, well, at least to me, that like at least to my ear anyway, like the the artists that you mentioned, like when we were talking about them before, you asked me, you're like, what did those lyrics sound like to you?
That's why I played you that.
Millions, I was like, what did those lyrics sound like to you? And I was like, well, it just sounded like grime.
Exactly.
Just like,
that's why.
It was just like he was flowing over a drill.
Exactly. That's why when you said, I don't really like listen to drill and stuff, I thought, okay, let me play this as the first thing. Because I realized I caught your ears and you looked and you was like, what? And I was like, exactly. What does that sound like? And I was like, yeah. So that's the way I'm going into drill is through a grime kind of thing. It's like, what's closest to grime? And then I'll branch out from there. Because at least, you know what I mean? It still has that.
I'm willing now, to be honest. I'm willing to take the journey. I'm willing to take the journey.
I think these man are doing real saucy things. And even like man like Diggity, I love the sauces.
He's cold, man.
He's having a lot of fun with his music. So, boom. Obviously, we'll be back another time. It's our Drilly interlude. But.
Don't know.